This episode of the HMB Podcast is proudly not sponsored by Surfshark. Hello to about the 10 people that actually listen to this podcast. Unfortunately, this week we've hit a few audio issues. Basically, Jake's microphone sounds crap, and it sounds like he is actually in Hawaii, as you will see later in the episode. But we stuck with it, we've got an episode out, and Jake's audio sounds shit, so it's his fault that if it sounds bad. But enjoy the episode. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another episode of the Handbags, Manbags, Bumbags podcast. No crappy intro this week. I've decided to just do it normally for once.
Nice.
Yeah, it makes a change, me actually not cocking something up for a change.
Speaking of changes, we're in a different studio.
More than one reasons. A, couldn't book the one we were normally in, and B, Rob wanted to try something new.
Well, no, I could do that in any studio.
Well, yeah, you could do that in any studio, but, as you can see from
we're doing an experiment today.
We are experimenting. Rob's experimenting with a decent setup. Jake's just put a setup where he's in Hawaii.
I'm on holiday, actually.
So it's various changes that whether they look good when I'm editing it or not is another matter. But I can certainly say that Rob's setup looks good.
It's an interesting experiment, and if it works, then who knows? We may end up seeing this in all three of us going forward.
Potentially, if he can be bothered to spend the money.
Yeah,
that's a good point. But in terms of what's coming up on this week's Handbags, Manbags, Bumbags podcast episode, we're actually going to be revisiting an episode we've already done before. I believe
we've run out of content already.
No, it's just an episode that I wanted to do because we've not done it for a while, and it was quite an enjoyable one where we did do it. I think we did it. It was like something like episode 20, something like that. It was our second episode as HMB. So
was it?
Yeah.
Cool, that
was that long ago.
Oh, Jesus.
It was that long ago. So that's why I kind of wanted to revisit it, because we did that back in, what was it, April?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I wasn't on that episode.
And you weren't here, so this is a good one for you to actually delve into why this is actually quite a hard topic to do.
Indeed.
So what we're doing, previously when we did it ranging from the 06-07 to the 11-12 seasons. But this time, we're going to the next 6 seasons. So 12-13 ranging through to 17-18. And the whole concept was, you've got to pick 2 players from every season that's not from the top 6 of that season.
Fair enough.
And obviously one season's got to have a manager and one player.
Yeah.
So
I want to say that for me and Jake, this has been groundbreaking. This much research and practice and planning
exactly
into one episode. This is big from us.
Breaking new boundaries.
I've got stats. I've gone more than just player names.
I've got stats as well, and I'm pretty sure. Well, actually, I don't know. I don't think Jake has, but
I've got a few.
Well, a few.
Well, he's got stats for one player because I gave him to him, and I ended up using the player as well.
No,
exactly.
No, I'm not having this.
Well,
I found out about Gareth McCauley, not you.
Well, that was me. I got my seasons confused and then told you the right season, and you
let's not give any players any yet. So let's dive into the content that we're going to be doing today. And whether should we start with the goalkeeper or the manager?
No, I'll do manager last, I reckon.
Yeah, I'll do manager last.
Start with the keeper.
Yeah. Does anyone want to start with their goalkeeper then?
Yeah, go on then.
Go on then, Jake. Seeing as you're the new one to this sort of format.
This new content.
I've gone for 2012-13 season, and I've gone for Asmir Begovic from Stoke.
When he was at Stoke?
Yeah.
Reasonings?
Because even though they finished I think it was 12th or 13th, they still had one of the best.
Was that the season where he scored from? I think
that was a bit.
Was it earlier?
It was a season later, I think.
Was it earlier or later? Because I know it was when he scored against Bournemouth.
Yeah, one of the few keepers to score.
34 seconds, was it?
Something like that. Just to win, caught his goal kick, didn't it?
Yeah,
typical Stoke, that.
Yeah,
that
typical
season,
Stoke.
They finished 13th, but he only conceded 45 goals because he played every single game.
Yeah, that's not bad though, really.
That was better than Spurs in 5th, almost better than Liverpool in 7th, etc. So
okay, yeah, that's a good shout. I'll go next. My goalkeeper's from 16-17. And it's not just bias, I will admit. It is Tom Heaton.
Yeah.
Burnley did finish 16th that season, so you'd say maybe why have you put a Burnley player in? Well,
you're a Burnley fan.
Yes, I am a Burnley fan, but Tom Heaton that season just levelled up big time.
Is that the season where he made that
incredible save against
Zlatan?
Yeah. Zlatan was on that volley. Heaton just sprung his arms out like that and practically broke his wrist. I mean,
Yeah, that was a ridiculous game.
Heaton got 10 clean sheets that season in a Burnley side that finished 16th.
Yeah.
And also he got his first England start that season. So that's my reasoning behind having him in.
Well, genius, brilliant bit of segueing there into my one. You mentioned Tom Heaton made such a good save he basically broke his wrist. Well, linking into that, my player comes from a situation where Tom Heaton did get an injury. As I've gone Nick Pope, 17-18.
These links are just getting so much better, our flow, this is just incredible. Another Burnley goalkeeper.
He replaced Tom Heaton. He obviously got brought in. No one had a bloody clue who he was. It was just this random guy that signed from Charlton.
For £1 million.
For £1 million, never played.
Yep.
Comes in to replace Heaton. Heaton's out for the season. You think, Burnley are in trouble, might go down. Nick Pope comes in, 12 clean sheets, 5th most in the league, even though he didn't even play a full season.
Yep.
Burnley finished 7th into the Europa League qualifying.
And then the following season, he did the exact same thing as Heaton.
Yep.
In the Europa League qualifiers against Aberdeen.
Yep.
Did his shoulder in, and then we were stuck with Joe Hart for the season.
Yeah, but I think I would call yours slightly Burnley biased, considering that I've then gone with a more impressive Burnley keeper from a year later.
I'll admit mine was a little bit biased, but I just feel like Heaton deserved it from that season.
If you're gonna do a Burnley keeper, I'd have gone.
But yeah, Nick Pope from that 17-18 season. What was it? 12 clean sheets? Or was it 13? I can't remember. Was it 12?
Pope was 12. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got it on my stats.
Well, I think that segues into one of my first defenders actually. Same season, same Burnley team, James Tarkowski.
Well, you're going straight on centre back. Oh, no, you haven't got full
I've got a back three.
Oh, we'll do
I've just got three defenders. James Tarkowski from 17-18. Replacing Michael, a lot of expectation on him, replacing Michael Keane after he went to Everton for £25 million.
Yeah.
I think he'd only made 2 Premier League starts before then, and he's come into that team, 13 clean sheets for the whole season, because he kept a clean sheet before Pope obviously came in. And he got his first England call-up that season as well. Like Pope himself also got his first England call-up. That's another reason for you.
Yeah.
Pope got his first England call-up.
Yeah, I definitely knew that.
Feels like Tarkowski's been around longer than that, though.
Yeah.
We signed him from Brentford in, 15-16? January?
He's only been playing in the Premier League for 4.5 years. It feels like he's been around forever.
17-18 is when he really broke through into the Burnley team, but he was with us in that Premier League season in 16-17, just didn't play because Keane and Ben Mee were just too strong together.
And then 2021-22 is going to be when he finds a new lease of life at Newcastle.
Let's not go to that yet.
Right,
But yeah, Tarkowski, I think it's a reasonable. It's not too
enough.
much Burnley bias this time.
Yeah, well, what should we do? Should we do our centre backs, or do you want us to start?
It's up to you because we're just going general defence. Because you two are playing back fours, aren't you?
Yeah.
I've just gone for 3 general defenders playing in defence, not positional wise.
I've gone a team that's actually going to go out and win me some games.
Yeah,
Brexit
fair enough. Go on then.
I'll go with right back.
Yeah,
first,
start right back. That's where we normally go to.
I'm going to 16-17, and I'm going for Seamus Coleman.
Everton got Europa League that season, didn't they?
Yep. He only played 26 games because you know what he's like with injuries.
Yep.
But he got 4 goals, 4 assists in 26 games, and generally just his usual quality for Everton. Him and Baines that era for about a decade. Them two.
Who was Everton? Was Leighton Baines still Everton's left back 16-17, or had they signed Luka Dean by then?
I think it would have been Baines.
Was it still Baines?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd go with Coleman.
This might have been the period when Brendan Galloway was coming through and everyone thought he was the next Baines, and then he collapsed
he'd been on loan at West Brom previous season, hadn't he? Or
I don't know,
was it that season?
That.
I'm not sure, but we know where Brendan Galloway is now. Absolutely nowhere.
Yep.
But we'll now head over to Hawaii and find out who Jake's gone for his right back. Jake.
Right.
You've as this, haven't you?
What have you done?
Basically, I had one spot to fill for the 2015-16 season, and I had absolutely no clue who to go for. So I just put Wes Hoolahan there.
What? You are genuinely turning into John.
Because he got 8 assists.
Wes Hoolahan, right back.
I couldn't think of a player who would be more not a right back.
Could you not have just gone like Seamus Coleman like I did?
What season was Hoolahan?
2015-16.
Let me have a look at the league table.
Where was he at? Norwich?
Yeah.
Did they not get relegated that season?
Yeah, they finished 19th.
That makes it even worse. Jay, that's poor from you. That's really poor.
Let me have a look. So the league table Well, Everton finished 11th, so he could have gone Seamus Coleman standard. Chelsea were 10th. He could have said someone like Aspilicueta would have been all right. Stoke were 9th. Could have picked Glenn Johnson for that year.
West Ham finished 7th.
West Ham was 7th. I don't know who they would have had then, though.
I can't remember, actually. Zabaleta, was it?
I think mum and Cole Jenkinson or something.
God, it might have been, actually.
Liverpool were 8th. Could have gone Nathaniel Klein.
Wow.
John Flanagan.
John Flanagan. He was on loan. No, to be well, I know it was the following season. He was on loan at Burnley and did absolutely sod all.
Watford came 13th. It was Daryl Yam that had a decent year that year.
And you pick Wes Hoolahan.
You put
Wes
attacking midfielder at right back.
Man's lost the plot. Seriously lost the plot.
You just wait and see. It's my tactical masterclass. You guys won't see it coming, buddy.
Right.
Shock you all.
Interesting that. I'll go on to my next defender then, and it comes from the 2012-2013 season. Swansea's captain, Ashley Williams.
Yeah.
Won the League Cup with Swansea that season. I mean, admittedly, they did beat Bradford 5-0 in the final.
Yeah.
But
beat who you get,
doesn't matter who you beat, it's who you get there. They beat Chelsea in the semi-finals.
Yeah.
Won the League Cup that season. Only got 10 clean sheets, but Swansea winning the League Cup and getting into the Europa League.
Yeah.
Big achievement.
I kind of did mine solely on Premier League, so I kind of forgot about the other competitions, cannot lie.
Doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. It's just in depth. We're on a bit of a tight. Well, I say tight schedule. You couldn't be bothered all weekend.
Yeah. Ashley Williams though, he was always
he was good for Swansea.
Quality, but as soon as he went to Everton,
as soon as he went to Everton, stinky.
Yeah, kind of went downhill.
Yeah. Do you two want to do both your centre backs then now?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
You can go first, Rob.
My first one is one that I thought of myself, and Gareth McCauley, and palmed it on to Jake.
Yeah, but then you said I could have it.
Yeah,
so
I did say.
So
you're sharing it, basically.
No, basically, what happened here is I thought of it, was going to use it, and I got my seasons because I was going to use him as a 2012-13 player. Got my stats wrong. Turns out the season I wanted was 16-17. So I said to Jake, "Oh, you have it because I've got one for that season." Then it turns out one of my other centre back I've now had to drop was Virgil van Dijk for 15-16.
We did when we were prepping this. We did have a colossal cock up about an hour before we started this recording.
Yeah.
When we realised that Southampton finished 6th in 15-16.
Exactly. And I had Van Dijk, so I then panicked and went, "Oh, I'm going to have McCauley," and just nabbed him back off, even though I said Jake could have him. But I put him in. Just generally FPL GOAT that year, wasn't he? 6 goals. West Brom. We were looking through the squad earlier. Steve Clark got the most bang average team into the top half, and Gareth McCauley and Johnny Evans at the back were a massive part of that. Was that
the season when everyone wanted Johnny Evans, or was that the following season?
I think everybody wanted Johnny Evans for years, didn't they? Really?
Yeah.
I think Man City wanted him at one point.
Yeah,
Man United wanted him back.
Everyone wanted him.
And he's ended up at Leicester now.
Yeah, everyone wanted him after the summer after this season. Everyone wanted him. Nobody got him. So then Leicester ended up getting him cheap because they got
£2 million or something.
Yeah, it's 3 mil.
Yeah, put him in because then McCauley and Evans were basically after Rondon up front were basically like the next 2 top scorers at West Brom, and he got 6 goals from centre half.
Jake, we'll head over to Hawaii now for you. Is it quite windy over there?
Yeah, that was my reasoning for McCauley because he bagged 6 in it, and then
6 in it.
6 in it.
And then
the reasoning was I told you.
From the 2014-15 Premier League season, I've gone for Toby Alderweireld from Southampton.
Yeah, good shout.
Where he was on loan, and the reason being is because that season Southampton, I'm pretty sure, had the second best defence that year.
Yeah, they did have a really good defence that year.
So that is.
Did they finish 7th or 8th that season?
2014-15, they finished.
I think it was 7th. Yeah.
2 points off 6th, 4 off 5th.
Great shout.
I just realised I forgot my other centre back. Then I was waffling on about Gareth McCauley for too long.
Well, go on then, say it now.
Another centre back. We're going back to 2012-13, and we're going to Liverpool because we had a pretty rubbish year that year. Came 7th, and I'm going Daniel Agger. The reasoning.
Agger.
I've just got here. Just an absolute legend.
Yeah. I
was saying this to Jake. Generally, one of my favourite players growing up. I think in modern era, the player he was, he'd be worth 80-90 million pounds as a centre back now. He's got a hell of a strike.
Is that your inspiration for your centre back performances in 5-a-side then, Daniel Agger, or not?
No, he's too good on the ball and at shooting to be
That's a good point, actually.
Yeah.
So he's got a hell of a strike on him. Scored so many worldies in his career.
Actually, that's a complete opposite of Rob then.
Yeah, Rob is not the most technically gifted footballer, although his position is decent.
I'm much more like Gareth McCauley, to be honest.
Yeah,
got a good header on me.
But apart from you, don't score goals either.
Well, but if I went up if I came up for the corners, I might score.
The absolute saints, me and Ben are the only ones that have scored for us this year.
Yeah.
Or assists.
It's because I have to stay. It's because I have to stay back from the corners, and no one else. So I could get a couple of headers if I came up.
He's assisted all of my goals, and I've assisted all of his goals.
That's not true. I set you up first.
Well,
week.
yeah, that's a good point. You set up one of mine.
Exactly.
But then the rest have been me and him.
Yeah.
Mine and Ben's backs are only hurting, bro.
I know, carrying the team every single week.
I mean, I did literally...
I mean, you carry us in defence, we carry us going forward.
I was going to say, carry the team. I literally kept us in the... We lost 1-0, we should have been 5-0 down at half-time.
Yeah, you carry us in defence, we carry you up top. I'll move on to my final defender then.
Daniel Agger, legend.
It is a left-back, but he's obviously just playing just a general defensive position.
Yeah.
2014-15, Ryan Bertrand.
Oh, I've gone very similar with mine.
It was when he was on loan from Chelsea that season.
Yeah.
He got 13 clean sheets. Yeah, on loan at Southampton. 13 clean sheets that season.
Yeah.
Helping Southampton to the Europa League that season.
Mhm.
Can't argue with it, really.
No, yeah. And then I've gone down a very similar route as a Southampton left back, but I've gone the year before to 2013-14. Luke Shaw, yeah. Like 18 or something at the time.
Yeah.
Just
was that the year he secured his move to United?
Yeah. Just generally outstanding all season, especially for a teenager. Got a couple of assists as well. PFA Team of the Year.
Exactly.
Just generally like the season where he broke onto the scene and everyone was like, this guy's going to... Basically, how he's playing now is how we all thought it would be. It's just taken him a while.
Since Mourinho's gone.
To get there,
but leg break as well, but he's back quite a while as well.
Yeah, but he's now become the player that everyone thought he'd grow into and just carrying England's defence down the left-hand side.
Jake, your left back, are you going to try and throw someone out like
no.
Adam Lallana at left back or something?
I have an actual left back, although he's not very good defensively, but it's Charlie Daniels, 2016-17.
That's not a bad shout, actually.
For Bournemouth, they finished 9th. They got 4 goals and 3 assists.
Yeah,
good shout.
The only issue is Bournemouth conceded 67 goals that season.
Blame the centre-backs.
Yeah, so...
Good thing I dropped Nathan Ake from that season at my team, wasn't it?
If you guys have width in your team, you're going to get down my flanks pretty easily. Cause where's Houlihan and Charlie Daniels?
Well, another brilliant segue. Get onto the right mids because that's who they'll be up against. If Ben's even got one, he's probably playing 3-2-2-1-5, whatever.
No, I've got 2 central midfielders and 2 players that could play on the wing, essentially. So
I'm playing Brexit 4-4-2, so I'll just go through mine from right to left.
Okay, go on then.
Again.
I'll say yours, who's would play right mid. I'll just say my first midfielder when it comes to it.
Jake, you just said if you've got width in your team, pace and width could cause problems. Well, I think that would be a good opportunity for my team if we play against you, because my right mid is Sadio Mane from 14-15 season.
Ouch.
He will have Charlie Daniels on absolute strings. It was his debut season in the Premier League, obviously showed signs of the player he'd turn into.
Yeah.
And he got 10 goals, 4 assists for a mid-table start. Well, not mid-table because they finished high up there.
Good shout.
So debut season in the Premier League to get double figures in a team that wasn't expected to do well was quite an achievement.
Yeah, where did he join from? It was RB Salzburg.
Yeah, Salzburg.
He actually started the season with them, and he scored a few goals in that league, and then Southampton.
Yeah, he scored.
What season was it where he scored that hat trick inside 2 minutes or something?
I think it was like 15-16.
Yeah, I think it was the year
quite a lot
after,
later.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. He did. He signed. He had like 2 goals in 4 games for Salzburg or something. And Southampton went at the end of the window, right, get him in, and he got double figures. So
yeah,
him and
second top scorer behind Graziano Pella that year.
Yeah,
great shout. I'll go for one of my midfielders first. It could be classed as a midfielder / attacker, but I've gone for midfield so I can get him in. 15-16, it was going to be Dusan Tadic until I realised.
I had him in as well.
Until I realised Southampton finished 6th. So I've gone not much lower in the table. I've gone down to 9th that season. Marko Arnautovic, local to here, in Stoke. 11 goals, 6 assists that season, getting Stoke to their joint highest league position, I think.
What was it, 9th?
9th that season.
I think they finished like 9th, like 3 years in a row or something.
Stupid. I think it was the Pulis era. They were up there every year, weren't they?
Yeah, I think it was the highest Sparky ever got them to.
Yeah.
But yeah, Marko Arnautovic, I think that was one of his... He moved to West Ham, I think the following... No, 17-18 is when he moved to West Ham.
Yeah, the best compliment I can actually give him is that he's a B-Tech Zlatan, which is actually a very good B-Tech player to be.
Yeah.
You don't want to be like a B-Tech.
He was perfect for West Ham, though. I was having this conversation with someone the other day. Like, those kind of players, like... Well, obviously, West Ham call themselves the big bastard hammers. Those, like, bastard players, bit of an attitude on them. Someone like Kevin Nolan back in the day, Arnautovic. Those players that's up front, got an attitude, but are going to... Say like a Zlatan-esque character, they're perfect for West Ham, and that's why I think he did so well there.
Yeah, and we've gathered that Marko Arnautovic could do it on a cold Tuesday night in Stoke. Yeah. So it's a good shout.
Now he's playing at Bologna.
And now Bologna in the Serie A.
After a spell earning some nice money in China.
Yeah, exactly. Jake, segue onto your first midfielder.
Yeah, so I've gone 2013-14 season, Steven Nzonzi.
Steven Nzonzi?
Mm.
What club was he at then? Was he at Stoke?
Stoke 2013-14, yeah.
Yeah.
Stoke finished 9th. He's Steven Nzonzi. He's just always such an underrated
player
in
he
the
is.
Premier League.
Yeah, he was actually. Yeah, Blackburn as well.
But he just so solid all the bloody time. I couldn't get past him. And then my other midfielder is Johann Gudmundsson.
Central, yeah.
Yeah. 2017-18. I think this is when he
So this is Palace days?
Yeah, when he came back off his spell at PSG, come to Palace under Pardew. Scored 6 goals.
Palace under Pardew.
Yeah, is it Newcastle under Pardew when he was good the first time
exactly,
round?
Yeah, so they reunited.
Just don't say anything Pardew at West Brom. That's one you can't do.
Pardew was an absolute baller at Newcastle, to be fair.
Yeah. Newcastle he was. He wasn't bad at Palace.
No, did alright at West Ham as well.
Yeah. Not so good at West Brom.
Maybe not so well legally at West Ham, but he done alright.
Or at Newcastle, for that matter.
Yeah. Didn't he go to a club in Holland as well and get sacked?
Ten Hag.
30 days or something.
Something like that, yeah.
Interesting. Rob, central midfielders.
You
might as well do all of them.
Both my central midfielders, keeping on the Southampton theme of my midfield so far. It was going to be a full Southampton midfield till we found out they came 6th the year I had Tadic in, so it's now only 3 out of 4. With the central midfielders, the first one is like Mane, it's from 14-15, and it's Morgan Schneiderlin.
Underrated player.
He was so good, so good for Southampton. When Manchester United signed him, I was absolutely buzzing, oh yes, we know
how that's happened.
Got one of the best midfielders in the league, and then
Standard United ruining the player.
Yep.
It went down.
Precisely.
It literally killed him because then he went to Everton and was also very bad.
Yeah. Like you say, he was just stupidly good. Because my original idea was Victor Wanyama for later seasons, but then I ended up using those slots elsewhere, and I just thought Schneiderlin did the exact same job, arguably better, really.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly, he's rotten. He was one of my favourite players in the league for a good few years. And
people focus on the attacking side of the Southampton teams from this era where they were consistently near the top.
They're very good defensively
as well. The players like your Tadic, your Pella, your Mane, people like that. But the key, a lot of those were allowed to thrive because they had Schneiderlin sitting in behind them. Kind of the sort of role that someone like Rodri plays at City and allowing just with his using his passing range and his defensive ability to push people forward. And obviously he was a main part of that team. Back 4 goals from a defensive midfielder as well. Yeah. And then because, like I said, the players in front are allowed to progress a bit further, I've paired him up with another Southampton player, this time the year before, 13-14.
Oh, hang on, sorry, just quick weather forecast. The wind is really picking up in Hawaii on Jake's stream.
He's struggling.
The waves are really breaking at the minute.
Right, then I've
sorry for interrupting there. Go back to your second Southampton midfielder.
Yeah, I have paired him up with Adam Lallana from the year before. The year he got in the PFA team of the year.
Baller. 9
goals, 12 assists. I've got in my notes here. Basically became prime Lampard. 8 assists. Sorry, not 12. I was the wrong player. Basically became prime Lampard for a season.
Perfect segue into my first central midfielder as well because
is it Frank Lampard?
No, it's not. It's Adam Lallana from 13-14. 10 goals, 8 assists in that Southampton side that finished 8th.
Yeah.
I think he was just an incredible player in that season.
Yeah, realistically, anyone who got in the team of the year for one of these clubs is likely to get in.
Exactly. I'll go to my second central midfielder. I'd say it's the only one in my team that I wasn't really sure about. It's also from 13-14. Johann Gudmundsson from Newcastle. It's
you
the only
3-4-3 to put with Johann Gudmundsson on.
Look,
that is disgraceful.
There's no positional sort of strategy in this at all. I've literally just picked players to play in midfield. Johann Gudmundsson, the only reason I've got him is because he was an integral part of Newcastle's midfield in that season, and it had a lot of stick from the fans that season for something he'd done behind the scenes. I can't remember what it was.
Why do I feel like he was involved with the whole Valbuena Benzema thing somehow?
Potentially, I don't know. I've not done the whole research.
But I just incriminated him.
I know he'd done something behind the scenes while he was at Newcastle, and the fans had got on his back, and he won them back. I think he got something like 6 goals that season. It's not great for a midfielder, but just the fact he's managed to turn his Newcastle career around is one of the main reasons. Because I was struggling for that other midfielder, and I only had 13-14 left.
That's actually pretty cool shout, to be fair, just somebody different.
Because you picked a stupid formation, that's why. I
just wanted to get more attacking players in. But Gudmundsson it is. Final midfielder, left midfield. I think we may all have a similar player here.
Yeah, mine. Well, the original plan for my team, this was going to be Dusan Tadic, and I'd have this, and this player would be sitting just off my striker in a centre forward role. But due to the changes, I've ended up going with 2 centre forwards, Brexit 4-4-2, and he's been pushed back to the left. Dimitri Payet, 2015-16.
Yep, exactly for me.
Yeah, he's my left winger as well. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
9 goals, 12 assists from that season, getting West Ham into the Europa League.
That season, he was just like. Yeah, it was just absolutely
Insane.
magic, wasn't he? Just...
That tell you what, my team though, if I had the full Southampton, if I had Mane, Schneiderlin, Lallana, then Tadic, even though if I could add in there that year, Payet just behind my striker, who I'll get onto, that would have been a hell of an attack.
Yeah, Dimitri Payet was just insane that season.
Was that the season where he scored
that free kick against Crystal Palace?
Yeah.
That was just
9 goals and 12 assists that season for West Ham, getting them into the Europa League in their final season at Upton Park.
9 goals, 12 assists.
Absolutely special.
Team of the year again. It's very similar here. I've got two players next to each other. I've got Adam Lallana, PFA Team of the Year, was basically prime Lampard, 9 goals, 8 assists, my notes. And I've got underneath him Dimitri Payet, PFA Team of the Year, basically prime Zidane, 9 goals, 12 assists.
Prime Zidane.
I'm just going to point it out there with my attack. I have just got 3 genuine strikers because I just wanted to get attackers in.
Yeah.
So
no balance,
we've picked
mate.
actual
no balance. I don't care if my team would lose. I'm just picking.
I thought very tactical.
I'm just picking iconic players.
I've gone for the win
mentality.
here.
I've
gone for the win here of this
Same.
setup of teams.
Same.
So how many attackers have you lot got?
I'm
2 for you.
Brexit 4-4-2.
Well, I've got 3 left because I just mentioned Payet.
Okay.
I've got 3 left.
Let me just get one of mine out of the way then. 12-13 Christian Benteke when he was at Villa.
Yeah, good shout.
You guys know how much I love Benteke because I just always go on about him.
Yeah.
He's like
19 Premier League goals in the
his-
Villa side that finished 15th that season.
in his prime. He's unbelievable. Literally, he's turned his career around as well. I'm so happy that he's bloody.
A couple of goals against Burnley at the weekend.
Yeah.
as
Doesn't
well.
matter, we've still
Literally,
got a point.
Scored for Belgium, scored a brace at the weekend. Literally, I love Benteke. I was so sad when he went to Liverpool. I didn't want to sign him, but I just love Benteke.
Yeah.
I think this might have been his final season at Villa before he went to Liverpool.
Something
I can't
like maybe
remember,
one
but
more.
yeah, 19 league goals in a Villa side that finished 15th that year. I think he was 3rd top scorer in the end.
Such a shame that he had that like really bad drought at Palace because if he hasn't, he would have had over 100 Premier League goals by now.
He's quite versatile at Palace as well now because he can play in the 4-3-3 with Zaha and
Yeah.
Ayew either side,
Yeah.
but he can also play
Love
in a
Benteke.
front 2 with Odsonne Edouard.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
Benteke.
Makes him so versatile, and he's actually properly underrated at the minute.
He's,
Properly
he's
underrated.
Actually back on form.
He's had his critics over the year, but honestly, Benteke is a top
Yeah,
Premier
got
League
double
striker.
figures last year, didn't he?
Yeah, he bagged 10 last year. Yeah, so he genuinely is back after scoring.
He's a top Premier League striker, and he's one that goes under the radar completely.
Yeah.
I'll let you. We'll go to Rob for your first attacker.
We'll go with the one who's been drafted in last minute after the whole Tadic scenario. So I've gone from the same year I would have had Tadic from, 15-16, Odion Ighalo.
Nigerian R9.
Yep.
Baller.
It was an absolute baller that
16
season.
goals, 5 assists. Watford only finished 13th, but the
Doesn't
partnership
matter.
him and Troy Deeney had were literally the reason why it was only 13th.
They'd carried that form
Yeah.
through from the Championship into
Yeah.
the Premier League,
He
and
had-
that's what made
yeah.
them so good.
The one
He
thing
got 16, Deeney got like 14, and that was like the only goals Watford scored, which is why it was only 13th.
The
Could have
one
been a
thing
top half
about
push.
Ighalo was, I'm pretty sure he scored like 14 of those before Christmas, and I'm pretty sure he,
He did fall off a bit, yeah.
He only got like 1 goal in the last 19 games.
Yeah, but it was enough to get them comfortably out of the relegation fight, which is all you're looking for when you're Watford.
And then there's
career.
another striker that goes off to China.
When Manchester United signed him on loan, I remember he did like this takedown of like a long punt downfield, took it down, backheeled it, and all the United fans were going absolutely mental.
Jake, first attacker for you.
I'll go my right winger now,
Okay.
and it was same season as Rob, Mane, 2014-15, double digits, first season in the Premier League.
Just got him a bit more advanced than
Yeah.
my setup.
Yeah.
Probably
As a
better
right
for him,
winger.
but I've
Oh
got
yeah,
to
much better
accommodate.
for him, but it's compensating, isn't it?
Yeah, but I've got to compensate. Well, hints later on when we get into the last couple of picks. Also, is my tactical. I'm a very tactical performance for this one.
Yeah. I'll go for one of mine now, and I've got Charlie Austin from 14-15.
Yes, when QPR got relegated.
QPR finished bottom of the table that season, and this man got 18 Premier League goals.
Yeah, he bagged goals, yeah.
18 Premier League goals in a side that finished bottom of the Premier League.
Which season was that again?
14-15.
14-15.
Incredible. And a QPR team that were woeful and got relegated.
Yeah, I specifically remember a goal. I'm pretty sure he scored against Aston Villa for some reason, where he like won in the game like 1-0, and everybody thought, oh yeah, QPR might stay up, but they just didn't.
No.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. Burnley make these players, and then they go off and become better players elsewhere.
Yeah,
That's the second relegated player to feature after Houlihan at right back.
Yep. Exactly. Jake, we'll go to one of your attackers left, which will leave us with one each remaining.
So I've gone for one of the best Premier League, I think the best, but other people think one of the best Premier League players of all time. And I've gone for Rooney, 2013-14 season.
It's reliable, because United had a stinker that season under Moyes.
7th, but that season Rooney got 17 goals and 12 assists.
It's cunning, because it's allowable.
He carried us, honestly. If we didn't have him that season, we'd have finished 15th.
Yeah.
No joke, he
100%.
carried us.
I was going to go down a similar route with my other striker and say Luis Suarez for 2012-13 because he got 23 goals in the year Liverpool came 7th, I think. So technically, but then I decided
you did put Luis Suarez for 11-12. I remember that vividly.
No, I put Torres in, mate. Actually.
Oh, did you put Torres in? I thought. No, it was me. No, it was me that put Suarez.
Exactly. I put Torres and Gerrard in for the same season.
Suarez.
Yeah, but I didn't go with that in the end because I realised who only got one goal less than Luis Suarez in 2012-13. The man, the myth, the legend, that is Michu.
What a player.
22 goals in all competitions, 18 in the league, and simply my notes here just say Streets will never forget.
Yeah.
Streets will never forget.
Absolute hero.
Justin Rooney as well. One of the main reasons, because everybody says, that's where he started to dip off and his career went downhill. But it just wasn't true. Because 17 goals, 12 assists. And people say 2013-14 is when Rooney started to decline.
No, it wasn't. He didn't move to Everton until 17-18.
Yeah.
That's when he started to decline.
Yeah, I'll go for my last guy as well because it's the same as Rob. Michu, baller. I can't.
Yeah.
I remember his debut against QPR. I think he bagged a brace or something.
I mean, if I had a spot available, it was either I could have used Michu for that season, but I chose Benteke. I could have chose either one of them. But
I love Michu.
Michu was the first player I thought of when we came up with this. But then I went, I won't put him in because I know Jake will. I'll go different. And I was no, I have to.
That's why this episode is so difficult because there is so many players you can choose from. So at 16-17, my final player and the final player of this episode is from 16-17, and it's Romelu Lukaku.
Yep, someone I dropped for a gala at the last minute.
25 goals that season.
Goals,
Getting Everton back into the Europa League in Koeman's first season.
That's the most goals he scored ever in the Premier League.
Yeah, that's when he moved to United the
following
following season.
That was the original Tadic replacement,
so.
but I couldn't find a good centre-back for 15-16, so I went Macaulay 16-17.
Yeah, because he came in, took the number 9 shirt off Ibra.
Up front. Oh, yeah, he did, didn't
he? Yeah, because Ibra did that, did his knee in.
Yeah.
So
that's all the players dealt with. All we've got left with 5 minutes to go is a manager.
I reckon we do on one altogether.
What, like we did for Tyrone Mings a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah.
Okay. We may as well say the whole manager's name.
Yeah.
On count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Sean Dyche. See? 17-18 season. I mean, I just... There's not even any bias in this for me.
No,
at all.
Quite frankly, I think I've summed up well in my notes. Took a shit Burnley side to Europa League qualifying.
The way I've put it is getting Burnley into the Europa League! ! Yes, Europa League!
Europa League qualifying.
Playoff round, actually, I'll have you know.
Qualifying because you bottled it.
Yeah, arguably.
Listen, we were under the radar that season. We lost to Olympiacos, who have got Champions League experience, where little old Burnley look like they're going to get relegated from the Premier League every season.
Bowled it.
That achievement from Dyche, who's literally arguably just not as good as Ranieri, but literally it's probably Ranieri, and then the second best ever managerial season is Sean Dyche getting Burnley to 7th.
I still don't know how to this day we managed to do that.
Yeah.
7th
it's
for Burnley.
Honestly incredible.
Unreal.
Stupid, isn't it?
We've got players such as I can't even remember.
They had Barnes and Wood up front all year. Bit of Jay Rodriguez.
That was not Jay Rodriguez then. Yeah,
not?
No, not yet. It was Barnes Barnes was just on a different level that season.
Who am I thinking of? There was 3 strikers who scored a few goals. Let me Google it.
Vokes.
Oh, it might have been
Sam Vokes.
Yeah, I think it was Sam Vokes actually. Yeah.
One I remember vividly. Sam Vokes coming off the bench against Watford, first touch of the game, scores an header. So.
I'm pretty sure it was Vokes. I think
it would have been Vokes. We didn't sign Rodriguez until West Brom got relegated.
Because he played the role that Rodriguez plays now, so I just assumed it was Rodriguez.
Yeah, no, we signed Rodriguez 1920, I think.
Sam Vokes, yeah. That's what I was thinking of.
Honestly, to this day, I think that's one of the best. Other than Burnley actually winning the Premier Division back in the 60s, this is the best Burnley achievement.
For sure.
In my lifetime, other than the 09 playoff final, this is the best ever Burnley moment I've seen live.
Yeah,
100%.
Barnes and Wood, 21 goals between them over the season in all competitions.
I think it was a month of March that season. Barnes scored 5 in 5. I mean, it's just how a player like Ashley Barnes is doing that. I just honestly, I couldn't tell you. But
look at him now.
Look at him now. He can't get in the starting 11.
Even Robbie Brady stayed fit enough to bag 3 goals.
Well, half a season. Half a season, and he did his knee in at Leicester, and he's been crap ever since.
He got half a season and managed to enough time to bag 3 goals.
It's incredible, absolutely incredible. But
you see,
the opening day of the season set the tone there. We went to the champions Chelsea of the previous season and won. We won 1 away game all season the previous season, and then we go to Chelsea on the opening day of the season, beating 3-2 in their own backyard. I mean, admittedly they did get 2 red cards, but.
Now you get more context, and I'm saying I've gone for the win here tactically. Now you got the context of who my manager is. You see where I've shaped my team.
Fair enough.
I've shaped my team around a Brexit 4-4-2.
Fair enough.
Sean Dyche has got to try and manage 3-4-3 or 3 out-and-out strikers.
Yeah, all right, fair enough.
You're gonna get battered of these teams, mate. I back my side all the way here.
It doesn't really matter, does it?
It does.
But Sean Dyche got Burnley into the Europa League.
Yeah, that's why he's the manager.
Into the Europa League.
Yeah.
It baffles me even to this day. Honestly,
it's actually said that just shows you the fact some of them how we've all come to that conclusion just so easily. There's Pochettino at Southampton. There's Koeman at Southampton.
Koeman at Everton as well. 16-17.
Yeah, Koeman at Everton. There's so many managers at these teams that
Brendan Rodgers at Southampton. No, not Southampton. Swansea.
Yeah. All these managers at incredible achievements. It wasn't even a debate. It was just
had to be Dyche.
Right, Dyche 17-18. Yeah, that's it.
It's honestly incredible. But I think we've all done a good job there, really. Really good job. There's a lot of players we could have put in. I mean, there was players such as Demba Ba, Adil Taarabt that I can think of that none of us put in.
Well, I thought about Taarabt. I just couldn't slot him in.
Yeah, it was difficult. But we have got a decent spread of players there, and certainly, well, I don't know about mine because there's no shape to it at all. But you two, if you went into a match between those two.
I've built a great team for Sean Dyche to play with here.
Yeah.
Brexit centre-halves as well. Gareth McCauley and Daniel Agger. They're hard-hitting challenges there.
Yeah, I'd agree. Right, well, I think that is the end of the episode. I'm actually going to give the honours to Jake this week to round off this episode from the shores of Hawaii.
Did he hear us over the waves?
Yeah, just about.
Just about. Is it quite windy? The wind is really picking up now.
Yeah. The breeze is a bit. Oh, whoa! Look at my hair. Whoa.
Oh yeah, look, really, bro. Your hair's really blowing in the wind.
But yeah, guess what? Ollie is no longer at the wheel. But thank you.
That good one.
Ah, bollocks. There goes our best chance of ever getting a brand deal. Sorry, Surfshark.